Yo, right now we are hanging out with a guy. I call him the multi-platinum triple dipple threat. Talking about the one and only Ice-T. And the reason why I got to say that, I mean, you got it locked down on the TV tip, the movie tip, rock and roll side, the hip hop side, and you're still a street hustler. I mean, how do you manage to keep it all together? One and only Ice-T.
What's up, baby? What's happening, D? Man, you know, just trying to enjoy life, man. Just trying to enjoy life. I think everybody wants to do everything, really. I think people on television would love to make records. People to make records would love to be in movies. I think people tend to front and act like they don't want to do it if they think they can't do it, you know. Like the cat that thinks he never can have a Benz will be like, I don't want no Benz, man, you know. But like Jay-Z said, y'all dying to floss, you know, stop lying. So I'm just been fortunate the opportunities came up and I just put my all in everything.
Well, let me ask you this. You know, on a serious tip, your ability to transcend in all these fields, writing, I mean, acting, being a musician, movie star and all that, how much of that is attributed to your ability to come off the street hustling? I mean, do you see?
I don't know. I think the best part of my hustle was always my communication ability. You know what I'm saying? I never really been much of a fighter. You know what I'm saying? I always thought that the smartest fight was the one you could walk away from, the one you could convince somebody that they didn't want to engage in, whether I was just backing out of it, saying, hey, man, y'all the toughest cats, and stepping away from them and then getting them later, or the one where I was able to convince somebody that maybe I'm not the cat you want to mess with and just put that pressure on a cat. But, you know, people ask me where I learned how to act. I said in front of the judge, you know what I'm saying? You know, you better have your acting skills down there, man. But it's all communications. Hip-hop to me was always the best rappers were the ones that could get a point across on the mic, not just make you dance, but could deliver some type of information that you would feel.
Right. Well, you know, going back to that, getting the point across, one of the things, like if we just talk about Ice-T as a rapper, and not just, you know, some fly-by-night rapper, but somebody who was a pioneer on the West Coast. But one of the things that always stood out was your descriptiveness. I mean, the ability to take people and paint a picture where it's vivid to this day. I mean, the classic 6 in the morning and all that. People still remember, know all that stuff. The rhyme, your album, OG, that was classic, especially with songs like The Tower and all that, where it's just so descriptive. Yeah. Where did you get that ability just to come up with that?
I always been a storyteller, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like Slick Rick did an album called The Art of Storytelling, and, you know, a lot of people have said, Ice, you know, you might be one of the best that ever did it as far as telling stories, you know. I know that the key to telling stories is details. You know, it's the smallest things. It's the little things that make you snap that person right into that picture and the place. And a lot of the stories I rap about, I've lived. Or if you tell me a story, I'm a good listener. And if you're telling me a story, I'm going to go into your story. While you're telling me the story, I'm going to say, and what happened right then? Was it raining? Was the streets wet? I mean, when you burnt out, what did the car do? Did it slide across? You know, I want to know, oh, we got stopped by customs. Well, what did they do? Did they rip the seats open? Yeah, what did they use? A box cutter or a knife? No, a screwdriver, okay. And then in my records, so what I do is I told people I've always written what I call faction. It's factual occurrences put into fictional scenarios. So they feel real, but they may not have happened in that chronological order. But they happen to somebody. I don't create stuff. It happened to somebody, and I know for a fact it did, and that's what makes them hit so real.
Now, your ability to do that, does that require you to be a writer?
No, it requires you just to be able to see the whole picture ahead of you. It requires you to be able to see it in your head. It's like directing a movie. When you walk in to do a movie and the actors are standing around, in your head, you actually see the scene. It hasn't been done yet on film, but you know what happens.
Right.
So like when we act sometimes, when we finish, the director said, that's how it happened. It already happened in his head. One time I was dealing with a graffiti artist, and I said, how do you do those whole burners on the train? How do you know how to keep everything in you know, correct so they align up right. Because you start at one end of the train, mine would get crunched. He said, because I see the whole picture.
Okay.
I see the whole thing. Although you don't see it, I can step back from this train and look at it, and I see every color and every shade ahead of time. And with these stories, I really see this stuff happening.
But, you know, let me ask you that whole ability to complete the picture. And it's funny because I talked with author Omar Tyree, and he was talking about the importance of people being able to complete an entire picture. He said a lot of people ain't able to complete their thoughts. Do you see that as being problematic with us as just black folks not being able to see that complete picture, and as a result, we often shortchange ourselves? And is that the difference between somebody like you being able to be successful in all these endeavors and somebody else who says, yeah, I'm going to do it, but they never get to that point?
I think somebody said before, anything that can be visualized can be achieved, and you first have to be able to visualize things in your head if you want them. In other words, you got to be able to sit in your pad and see that big 50-inch TV set there.
Right.
And then you got to figure out how to get it and put it there. But if you look at that wall and say, I cannot imagine it even being there, then it probably is not going to happen because you haven't even put it into your head to where you for some reason, you've created a wall that says, I can't have it. I mean, when I meet a girl, I say, can I imagine me and you being together? Can I imagine us rolling? And it's sometimes, you know, you ever heard the term beyond my farthest imagination? Sometimes it can still happen. But if you see somebody, you're like, you know what? I can see us kicking it tonight, but I really can't see us down the road, then that's where it's going to end. You know what I'm saying? So you always got to use your powers of I guess, previewing the future and seeing it. And once you start achieving, then your imagination broadens and you can start seeing yourself doing a lot of other things. But I think the biggest problem is people have lack of belief in themselves. You have to really believe in yourself, and that sounds cliche, but
it makes a lot of sense
true.
In the context of which we say. You know, just as I'm sitting here thinking, I'm just realizing, you know, just how much you've accomplished. I mean, not only, you know, being one of the first to come out and put out records in L.A., but then I'm just remember the whole Rhyme Syndicate thing,
Yeah.
from the whole Rhyme Syndicate thing to the controversy with, you know, the lyrics and the whole cop killer thing, establishing a band, going from the band, you know, the rock and roll band to the movies and now a television series. I mean, what do you like best? I mean, do you consider yourself a rapper now, or are you?
I like just being able to stay in the game. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like I enjoy entertainment. I enjoy being in front of people. I enjoy being Ice-T and just having fun, you know? And it's all fun to me, you know what I'm saying? It's all fun to me. I'm going 20 years into the game, 20 years from when I started rapping off and got out the hustle and been in front of the camera, in front of the mic. And the best part for me is that I still have attained and sustained a level of respect. Right. And that's better than somebody saying, yo, I like your beats, or I liked your, you know, just, yo, Ice, man, I respect for, and I think in the streets, what you get respect for is not the best record. It's, man, we seen you go through some shit.
Right.
And you still here. And you ain't never really shook or changed. And a lot of times, I think also you gain respect when a lot of times people don't know if they may have lost you for a minute and you came back on them. And then they feel bad about not being with you that moment when they left you. You know what I'm saying? Right. I think when I went through Cop Killer, I went head up with the Source and a lot of press because they weren't there and they weren't going through. And just now that the VH1 show came out, people really understand the magnitude of what I went through. And now people are like, man.
Well, you know, let me ask you about that.
It was the
you know,
president.
the whole Cop Killer controversy, because on the outside looking in, you know, Ice-T's from the streets, L.A., he can handle all this sort of pressure. Was it something that was really scary when it gets into it? I mean, you know, the president and, I mean, all this pressure coming.
It's not scary, D. The thing of it is when it's not wanted, it's stupid. It's like if I wanted to cause problems with the president and I wanted to get heavy like that, then it came, then I would have been prepared for it. I wasn't really wanting it. It's like, that's a record, man. I'm not really here to fight a battle for this. This is a record on a record, an album that was out a year. And everybody's like, stand your ground, fight this war. Well, this ain't a war I really want to fight for the First Amendment. I don't believe in the Constitution anyway. So I'm like, this ain't my war, and I'm not gonna fight it. Now let me see if I can do it. I mean, I read The Art of War 100 times, and sometimes when you don't have your troops in position, you retreat and return with superior firepower. I wasn't gonna stand and fight that war out for these white people who was like, fight for the First Amendment, but they wasn't finna back me. I'm like, you know what? It's a record. Pull the record, man. Let me get on. I got 15 more years under my belt to make trouble and tell these folks what I'm supposed to do. I'm not gonna let you, you know. And it was real. It was real in a way. What hurt me was the hip hop press so quick to attack me when I'm on the front lines, when I needed them to be my allies, for them to say, oh, he's giving in by pulling the record. I'm like, yo, this is coming heavy. You're not even ready for what. Next thing you know, Death Row's getting pulled, Interscope. This is major. This is not nothing I could stop. This is bigger than me just saying, oh, I'm giving in. If I hadn't pulled that record, they was going to drop every rap group on every major. Right. I had to show them that, well, if it gets this bad, we're just not, how do you say it, unruly, and we won't compromise and give in and deal with this on a business level. If you're losing money, okay, this is business, blah. If I had stood my ground and said, this is how rappers get down, man, it was going, everybody who could have predicted that would have happened, it would have hit everybody. So I'm like, look, I had to think on the longer scale, you know what I'm saying?
Plus, a lot of people weren't really ready for the firepower that they had on the other side.
Man, Chuck D said it the best. He said, those that aren't in the wars should not comment on the battles. You know, if you're not there, don't speak on it. You know what I'm saying? Go get in it, let them hit you, and let's see how it happens. So I did it as fly as I could, and I parlayed and parried and did my moves and got myself in a good position. I kept it fuck the police. You know, I just couldn't have Warner Brothers involved with it. Right. And, you know, and then I moved over and I took it. I never said, look at this rap record or look at this rock album. I never pointed my finger at nobody else. I said, it's me. Right. And, you know, and I'm still standing today, you know what I'm saying? But believe me, it took its toll and it put me in a position for life that I'll never be a Will Smith or I'll never be that guy that can have that pop. I'm always going to have that undertow of who I am, even playing the police on TV.
Do you want to be a Will Smith?
Why not? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not.
Now, I can't see you saying that like 10 years ago when we first
met. No, I mean,
met.
because I know, but honestly, like this, what I'm saying when I say we want to be a Will Smith is Will does more, you know, like I would say popular music. But that's him. Right. You know, he can't do me. But then at the same time, I don't want the doors shut in my life that say you can't do the big movies. Okay. So, you know, I would like to have the success, Will. I would like to be able to do some of these movies, and you don't know. There's a little small underhand vibe of like, okay, I love Ice, but let's not give him that extra because he's a loose cannon. You know, so in other words, what I'm saying is I would love to be able to be a super big, super movie star like that. You know what I'm saying? But I've made my bed, and I got to sleep in it. So
you kind of typecast in a sense.
Not typecast, but put into a zone of, you know, Ice is not gonna conform. We put him in a Disneyland commercial, and tomorrow night Ice will be talking shit about fucking a nun or something. So it's kind of like I could never be that conforming artist. So it's kind of like what I want, I know I'll never get because I can never change. But I'm not gonna front. That's like I said, that's like the guy that says he doesn't want the Benz. I'm not going to sit back and say, I don't want to do a movie for $22 million. Come on, I would love to do that. But I don't know if maybe when I'm an older man. Maybe when I'm got gray hair and I'm like Samuel Jackson, they'll give me them actions. Because hopefully I'll mature as a entertainer. And the stuff I say now will mellow. And they'll say, yo, he was wild when he was, you know, a hip-hopper.
If you're just tuning in, we're with the one and only legendary Ice-T.
Trying to keep it real as possible, man. You know
let me ask you this and get your honest response. 2001, you have a police task force monitoring rappers. You have it in Chicago. You have dossiers being collected right here in Oakland. Other municipalities, you know, making sure that artists, especially rap artists, can only go so far. And now people suing folks. And everybody points the finger and they go, this gangster rap stuff is the problem, and the person who started it, they have your picture.
Right.
They pull out your records and say 6 in the morning, this guy from L.A. come up with all this gangster stuff. How do you respond to that, and where should artists today be considering what's at stake and, you know, all the types of things that are coming into play?
You know what I mean? Somebody was going to do gangster rap if I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? It was just maybe, I think I was one of the first cats that was coming directly out of the street trying to rap. See, I'm not a rapper. I was a hustler who tried to rap, and I had to rap about the context of my life. That's how it happened, okay? So now we got this thing called gangster rap. Right now, hip-hop is the equivalent of the mafia, the Italians moving liquor back in the day and buying Las Vegas and setting up. Hip-hop was the transition from the cocaine off of the streets and the money that we made in the 80s and the hustlers made in the 80s, and it's our attempt to transcend into legitimate business. The hip-hop scene is totally filled with the street element of young black entrepreneurs, criminals and non-criminals trying to get a legit foothold in America. It's going to be a lot of violence and a lot of drama that goes on inside of there. The kids tend to rap about the lifestyle. Believe me, when gangster rap, maybe one day it may change and it'll be R&B, but the element has infiltrated the music industry. And it's a great thing because all that dope money had to go some goddamn where. And now you see a rapper, you see his boys, you see his crew, you see his family that just got out of the joint, and they looking at a chance to make it without drama. And I'm telling you, most of these crews, their attitude is get the cash flow at a maximum and the drama at a minimum. And they not looking for no drama. They want to get it. They see myself, cat from the street. They've seen other cats from the street make it.
But now we're talking about looking at a lot of people like, you know, C Murder is up for attempted murder. Little C is up for attempted murder. 42 or 43 artists got arrested, and now with Suge Knight coming out of jail, people are talking about the game is, you know, going to change in a big way. So is it good to have all this drama, or do we just need to go through the shake-up?
Nothing you could do about it. It's just how it happens. This is how it happens. You know what I'm saying? This is how it happens, you know. When I use in a parallel, you know, there was a point in time when Italians was out in the streets selling a lot of liquor. Then they decided they wanted to get into business. They end up owning Las Vegas and cleaning up and buying Universal, and all these different businesses became legitimate. This is the element, you know what I'm saying? For anybody to look at gangster rap and think that this is not real at this point, it's funny, like, because me, I got into the game to get away from the element.
Right.
Now the element is here, you know, so it's like, it's all good. And I mean, I don't think any gangster, anybody in the street is going to say what I'm saying is wrong, or I'm ratting or snitching or saying something that shouldn't be said. But what I'm saying is the cats from the streets is trying to get themselves a legit foothold and a chance at life. Hip-hop is the way.
Now, will
music is the way.
Will outside forces allow that? I mean,
well, they're going to do what they can. They're going to yell about it as they can. The people are going to say we don't like it. But I'm going to tell you straight up, the last thing, the least thing they need to worry about is the content of the music. Right. The music is nothing. That's not what they got to worry about. The problem is in the elements of these organizations trying to rise with millions of dollars at stake, and that drama going along with the also a ghetto kid leaving the ghetto and having the ghetto say you owe him something, and all these kids that are showing up in their neighborhoods with money that they've received that aren't gangsters because they got it from the music business, and going back to the street element where the kids are still gangsters and having to deal with getting robbed and dealing with getting extorted. Right. And that requires security.
Well, that's that element that we're talking about. And
that's the ghetto. See, this is the first time where the black community is really watching a large amount of their own rise. And they're rising And it's a cold game. I went through it. Everybody goes through it. I go through it. When I came up in Los Angeles, there were people saying, "Oh, yo, Ice, you know what I'm saying? You ain't coming around no more." Da 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 da. And I had to check them cats and be like, "Yo, I ain't never came around you anyway." And I took care of all my loved ones and the people I'm down with. And if you think I owe you a quarter, come get it. Come get it, punk. You know what I'm saying? But you just can't be from the hood and achieve and think you're going to stay in the hood without problems. That's something white people may never understand, but when you black and you come on a project and you make it, and if nobody in that project ever gave you shit, that project feels you owe them something.
So how do we deal with that?
You got to pull a gun on some of them motherfuckers. You got to let them know that it ain't happening like that. There ain't no way to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about dealing with issues in the jungle. How does the motherfucking antelope deal with the motherfucking lion? You got to run, man, up for that motherfucker. You got to deal with them. You got to deal with them. It's just a problem we got inside our own community. Ain't no way to deal with it. You can push love, 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 respect, understand your man came up. But if I'm walking around with $1 million worth of jewelry around my neck in front of some hungry cats who ain't got nothing to eat, they will rob you while they apologize to you, D. They will walk up to you and say, "Yo, man, Ice, I'm sorry, man. I love you," and rob me.
That's funny because they did that at the Source Awards 2 years ago. Cats was getting, well, you remember.
No, but yo, I mean, it's different now. I mean, honestly, the stakes have risen. Back in the day, you steal a nigga gold chain. My gold chain may be worth $1,000, $3,000. That's one thing. Now, I'm walking around with big Piagets and draping this on, and, you know, I'm wearing 80, 90, 200, 300,000. It's a different,
very lucrative, you know.
But why does somebody want to flash like that?
Because you ain't never had it. You know, it's like Jay said, they mad about I brag about the money I got. Hey, I'm used to not having a lot. I'm from the gutter, man. And something like when you ain't never had nothing, it's something you have to go through. You have to go through this phase. I mean, I wore a lot of jewelry. Now I don't got a lot of jewelry on. It ain't that I can't buy it. It's that I've overpowered that phase. I like doing stuff when nobody did it.
But see, somebody would say, well, why can't you be like Ice-T? See, he don't wear the jewelry
Because
anymore.
they ain't grown up yet. They haven't been there yet. It's like you can't expect, this is something as a man or a woman, you got, try to tell one of these girls she don't need a Gucci bag. Tell them that when they ain't never had it. If they ain't never had it, they got to get it. They get 10, 15 of them. They get a little more mature, then they don't need it. Some of them never mature. Another thing is, I am Ice-T without a chain on. I carry a certain amount of juice, power. I show up at the door, people know. Now, if I'm a nondescript cat, let me put a new word into hip-hop vocabulary. This is an Ice-T word. Me and King Son invented it. It's called nondescript. Okay. A nondescript cat is, okay, let's think about Bad Boy, right? How many people in Bad Boy do you know? Puffy, maybe Black Rob.
And that's it.
Everybody else is nondescript. So if you a nondescript cat and you down with a crew, but nobody knows you by face, you got to have a gold chain. You got to shine with that medallion because you ain't Iverson. Iverson don't need a chain because we know who he is. But if your face ain't, then you nondescript. So all you nondescript cats, man, your job is to get descript, you know?
And so this is also a sign of maturity, too.
It's just a sign of life, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand. I understand it, man. I got boys, and they want to wear the chain, and they want to stand on the stage when you do the show because they want that identity. Because, let me tell you, I could tell you a story, all right? Short story, just to let you know how makes me understand what's going on. One night, real short, I was out. We ran into some girls. I was with my boys, two of my homeboys. The girls were hanging out with us. Everything was good. We got back to the hotel. The girls was cool. We got the numbers. Everything was cool. My boys was ready to nail the two chicks they was with that night. They was like rushing, like, yo, give me a key to another room. I'm like, nah, get the numbers. You know what I'm saying? It's mellow. Chill out. You know, do it tomorrow. They were like, it ain't going to be like this for us tomorrow. See? In other words, nigga, you always Ice. It's going to be tomorrow. We live in the Bronx. Tomorrow, this pumpkin is over for us. We got to roll on it.
So a sense of urgency.
sense of urgency, and a sense of everybody wants to be special now. And if having a diamond necklace or brooch makes you look special, then that's what you're going to do. I mean, come on, man. The ghetto is never going to change, man. Everybody wears name brands because we never had nothing. We don't own nothing. This is what we got. And if we can put a tag or a Sean John on our body or a Rockaware or something, and it means we got something, that's how we judged.
Well, this is Ice-T we're talking to. Let me ask you something, because you mentioned females, and this is something that pops up, and it almost now parallels what people know you for on the acting tip. You know, everybody's seen Pimps Up, Hoes Down, and folks who did know this going, Ice-T is a pimp? And now that whole conversation has started. How do you address that to people who say, I disapprove of that, that's exploitation of females?
Nah, I'm not no pimp no more, you know what I'm saying? I've been around the game, and you know what I'm saying? Some people sold drugs, some people robbed and shit. Everybody came from some form of a hustle, you know what I'm saying? Right. And I understand and known and been involved in the pimp game. Okay, so I could speak on the pimp game from a first-hand situation, dealing with pimps, chilling with pimps, dealing with prostitutes, and knowing what it is. Especially in the Bay Area, pimping is something that's been going on up here for years. You can go out on the street. You probably got a couple of homeboys that done pimped a hoe or two, and that's just a hustle. It's nothing. I think it's just so out. It's an outer space hustle to people who have never been around it.
But, you know, it's still a significance because you find that so many people have been involved or indirectly involved with that, especially, like you said, coming in the Bay Area.
The Bay.
This is like a big capital. So how important is that hustle, or that just the icon of, or the pimp being an icon to so many people, that it shows up in their music, it shows up in their persona?
The pimps are flamboyant. Pimps have always been the most flamboyant hustlers. They always wore the most outrageous clothes. Pimps control sex. It's a very mysterious hustle. I think one of the main things we always did in hip-hop was we always knew the main power men where we lose is the power over women. We always could get the money, but the woman would always take advantage of us. And that's where the whole fuck a bitch attitude came from in hip-hop. It's not only, nigga, I'm a gangster and I'll kill you, but I don't even care about women at all. Now that means I'm totally untouchable. I don't care about women. Fuck, I never loved a bitch. You know, that's the ultimate male stance. Like, I don't care about you or even a woman. Which may be a lie. We could be simping and crying, baby, baby, please don't leave. But this is going to be your stance. That's the powerfulest, most male stance you can take. You know, you can't say, I kill and I love you, baby. That sounds like weakness. So, baby, you love me, but I don't love you because I'm gangster. You know what I'm saying? Now, take that one step farther. Not only don't I love you, bitch, go get me some money. You know? So when the pimps came out and the cats started wanting to be pimps and players and all that, I think right now what you're doing is you're hearing more people imagining the pimp lifestyle, the vibe of having a lot of women. But see, they don't really understand pimping, because a guy will tell me, oh yeah, I'm a pimp, I have sex with a lot of girls. I'm like, oh, you're a player. Pimps don't have sex with a lot of women. Pimps get money from women, but they don't fuck. You know? And so they don't understand what a pimp is. So they got a girl and they're like, I'm pimping. No, you're not pimping, you're a player. You know, you're having fun with the girls. But pimping is different, but they don't know, so they say it. Explain
the attraction to the pimp from a female perspective. Why do they find them so attractive? Well, and you get it two ways. You get some that are listening right now going, that's exploitation. That's the weakest thing you could do. You're preying upon these vulnerable people. You're finding them at their weakest point and taking advantage. But at the same time, you know, and I've sat here and I watch people go, hey, I mean, if they know, there are people that find Ice-T attractive just based upon the fact that they knew you as a pimp.
Fascination and the power. That's what it is. The girl who says, it could not happen to me. In other words, this dog can't bite me. But then they want to stand as close to it as they can and see why, how can this man make girls give him their money? You know, what can he do? He couldn't do it to me. Let me see what it feels like. Although I'm not never going to do it. But I want to see. And honestly,
And those would be the ones that all of a sudden get caught up?
not really. The ones that get caught up want to do it anyway. They just want to find the right man to do it for. You know, hoes come before pimping ever came. If no pimps, there would still be hoes. And hoes want a hoe, and this is why they've decided they want to get their money. Now they have to find a man that could accept hoe money. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing that, you know, a lot of women put themselves in the position where they don't want to do nothing, and this is the easy way to get paper. You know what I'm saying? They can go to school, they can go out here and be construction workers or work or lift, but they like rather get money easier, and this is another way. You know what I'm saying? Pimp don't care if you sell pussy or work at a bank. Just give me the goddamn money. I don't care where you get it. Just give it to me.
But does she want to give money to him?
Yeah, she does. We don't, you know, that's a game by choice, not by force. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody handcuffed. They can walk. They can get on a plane. They make enough money every night that they could fly to Argentina if they want to. Ain't no, you know, ain't like, you know, they in love, and it's a game though. The pimp game is no different than the girl who goes to the club tonight, puts on a nice dress, and tries to get a rich man to take her shopping. That's pimping. She's gonna touch him on the ear and say the cute stuff and try to get him to take care of her. And how many girls are playing that game? Okay, so I'm going to play the reverse game. I'm going to find a girl that I can impress to where she takes care of me. It's the same game. It's no different, you know? And so these chicks are pimps. You know, we got an album where my man God says, at 7 years old, a girl is taught how to pimp on a man. What's the first thing her mother teaches her? Find a man that'll look out for you, support you. Find a man with a career. Find a man that'll rob, beg, steal, and kill for you. If that ain't teaching pimping, I don't know what pimping's all about. That's pimping. So if I tell my boy, find a woman that has a career, find a woman that'll rob, steal, kill, and bring her money home to you. Okay? So don't get mad at the game. And that's what women want to hear. They want to get up around me. But I'm going to tell you, square chicks out there listening to me, if you think you don't like it, then step to the other side of the room, because there's enough girls out there that do like it. And those, come on over, and I'm going to shoot some game at you that's going to be so wicked. When I'm done, you're not going to love your man no more. You're going to look at your man like he's a wimp, because you're going to say, how the hell you let me take all your money, man? You need to be a real man like Ice-T. You know what I'm saying? So they going to feel real bad. It's going to be cold. I'm gonna tell you the truth, boo. You gotta find a king so you could be a real woman and be a real queen. You know, make your choice. You know what I'm saying?
That is Ice-T.
I'm in town too, baby, and I'm in hot pursuit of a prostitute. You know what I'm saying? Because pimping home is the best thing going. But no, it's all right. We just finished an album called The Pimp Penal Code.
Really?
And I took 10.
It's an Ice-T album or Body Count?
No, it's a Pimp Penal Code. It's an album I did with Bishop Magic Wand, and it has 10 tracks with different pimps dropping the game on it. It got Good Game on there. We got Kenny Ivy. We got White Folks. We got General. We got all kinds of cats. We got a whole name Sensation.
Now, is this, they're not rapping?
No, it's music with them dropping the game.
Now, this is interesting, just going back to that, because one of the things that a lot of people don't realize, that gift of gab that the pimp brings is something that has been a precursor to rap, as we know it. It's something that's always been there.
Well, you know what I'm saying? You're going to use your mouth or your hands, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to mess up my nails, you dig? So we're going to talk it to you. We're going to make you understand it. And a pimp basically has a level of conversation and charisma unmatched by mortal man. And that you know, a girl I tell a girl, what color is the sky? And she going to say blue. And I'm going to say, it's black, baby. You just ain't been out far enough. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm going to once I can refocus everything that you thought you knew, you'll start believing I know and you don't know. And now the games have begun. You dig? But it's all good. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. I'm not trying to pimp it. None of y'all women out there on the radio and stuff. You know, all I want to do is just show you how it feels and what it's like. And, you know, my pimp job is to be better than you. I have to make sure my nails look better than yours. My hair grows naturally longer than yours. My skin is better than yours. I dress better than you. And I'm looking better than you as a whole, so that you understand why you're going to be submissive to a more powerful species. And you're going to do what we're supposed to do at that point. You know, the problem is when a man marries a woman has a man in such a game. When we want to marry y'all, you say, drop down on one knee and then give me the most precious stone. And then we do that. Then when we get really married, that's our engagement. You even have the audacity to ask for another stone of the same type, even bigger. And why do we do that? Because women have convinced men that they're the prize. Well, I got news for you. I'm the motherfucking prize. So that's the game. I'm the prize. I'm the motherfucker with the houses on the hills and the Lamborghinis and the boats and the Benzes and the jewelry and the watch. And what you got is what you sitting on. So come on, ante up, or let a pimp do what I do.
This is Ice-T. You're hearing it here. Real talk right here.
Keeping it real for you, girls. But it's okay. It ain't going to be all fun, though. But it's going to be real fun when it is.
As we get ready to close out, I got to ask you, what do you
Why you get me on that pimp tangent, man? Why'd you get me on that pimp tangent?
Because we did a show a couple of weeks ago on the whole pimp thing, and it came up with the development of manhood. Somebody got on there and said the weakest person in the world was a pimp because he was afraid to fight the system. And I said, well, I'm going to talk to some pimps about it because there was a lot of pimps that I knew that disagreed with that. And I figured, why don't we just break this down?
The system is the pimp. The system is the true pimp. The system is the cat that's you either going to work for or have someone work for you. That's all it is. It's only pimping and hoeing. And like I say, right now I'm a hoe. I'm hoeing for NBC. But I only hoe for top pimps. And when they come in, they say, you do your lines, and I stand up straight, and I shake myself, and I make sure I'm dressed right, and I do whatever that white man says because he's paying me. And that's hoeing. When I'm in charge and you doing what I'm saying, and when I say, hey, don't talk no more, and you don't talk, then you hoeing and I'm pimping. Now, whether it's man, woman, mother, father, it don't matter. There's pimping and hoeing going on. It's the second oldest profession. And it's in the Bible, Mary Magdalene. It's all real. This ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? Stop putting so much issues into the game, man. Give me something outside of this game, man.
Let me just ask you this. Going back to the whole acting thing, you have been one of the few rap artists who've come into acting has managed to keep going. You and Ice Cube.
Man, I know I'm going to listen to this on the radio and say, God damn, man, this fool is crazy. And it's me.
But I wanted to ask you, what has been the success of that longevity? How come so many rappers who've gotten into the game have not been able to sustain themselves the way that you have? I mean, you must be like 10, 12 movies deep at this point.
I got about 8 big movies. Like our last big movie I did was with Kevin Costner, 3,000 Miles to Graceland. I got maybe 15 or 20 small, like independent straight-to-video joints, which to me are like independent records, Right. They go straight to blockbusters and cats see them. And the ghetto's so crazy, they think they missed it when it was at the movies. They be like, oh, man, I just saw that joint. That was banging. I didn't see it was at the movies. I'm like, oh, you missed it. But nah, I don't know, man. It's just that I like doing it. People enjoy watching us, and I'm just lucky. I'm having fun, David. It ain't.
But here's the difference, though.
There's no special.
You've been able to get into certain characters. You play the cop. You bring a certain type of street vibe to it, but there seems to be a certain range. I look at Cube, for example. I still see Cube even when he's like in Three Kings or even on Ghost on Mars. You still go, damn, he's from L.A.
Right.
How have you been able to get to that point where you're starting to have that range where you might look and go, okay, he really is that character?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know. I just try to get into the role, just try to, let go of Ice-T, so to speak, and play whoever this character is. Most of these characters, when you get the script, they'll have a backstory to them. They'll say, well, this is where this cat's from. This is what he's been through. So, acting is a spooky thing, man. You just say the words and you just hope to God people enjoy it. And it's no way of telling. Music, this art we do, man, it's nothing. You can think you're the best rapper and people hate you, and you think you're the best actor. You just cross your fingers and do it.
Okay. And the last couple of questions. Any role with politics? It says somebody soon is going to run for office or do something that is coming out of this genre. Some people are looking at Russell Simmons because he got that whole vibe about him.
Right.
Others thought Chuck might do it. Somebody said KRS. Why not Ice-T?
Because I got out of crime, man, a long time ago, man, and I'm not really trying to get back involved with these criminals in the political field. No, honestly, I'm the mayor of every ghetto I walk through. They treat me like the mayor. I got the key to every city, and I'm on my political platform every time I'm on a microphone or I'm speaking. I think, honestly, my truth and my ability to keep everything real, from like just how we just talked about the pimp game to whether I talked about selling drugs, will never allow me truly to enter into the political arena, because they're going to bring that up. You know what I'm saying? They'll bring this tape up right here, and there's enough people out there that wouldn't go along with it. So I'd rather stand on the truth platform and just let somebody else run for politics. So I'm nonpartisan. I say what I want. I can talk and, you know, and keep it real as I can be. And I like it like that. I think I help the communities and help people just by just being honest. Hate me or like me, but I'm going to tell you how it is.
Keep it truthful. What's happening with Body Count? Any new stuff with that?
Body Count is in a zone right now. Me and Ernie C are trying to come up with another scenario. D-Rock, our band member, created a group called Pitch Black, and they've been working around in the L.A. area. You know, we lost our bass player, Moose Man, got killed in South Central Los Angeles.
Really?
Yeah, during a drive-by shooting. Real stuff, man. What we sung about, he got killed like a year ago, right?
Ooh.
Less than a year ago. Beatmaster V, we lost him to leukemia. And so we have 2 members missing from that band. And right now I'm trying to get another, you know me, I'm into new stuff. So I told Ernie, I got this idea for a band I want to work on called PSK, Perverted Sex Cult, which is more of a kind of like dark, typo negative type stripper music, freaky, you know, something that they like up here in the Bay, slow, 9 Inch Nails, Prodigy kind of zone, which would be the members of Body Count. But I want to put that album out first and then drop a BC album. Because, I mean, BC, man, Limp Bizkit and everybody kind of ran with it.
Right,
You know, so I don't want to do rap rock. I want to do something different now, you know. And right now on the hip-hop tip, I'm doing a thing called SMG, which is Sex, Money, and Guns. And it's myself and Smooth the Hustler.
Right.
So this will be, I love saying this, the first rap group made up of East Coast and West Coast rappers, professionals, people that have been records out. So me and Smooth are the group members. It's me and him together, and Trigger the Gambler and his brother, and I'm bringing in West Coast flavor, and he's bringing in East Coast flavor, and the album is on fire. We're in New York recording it right now, and I've got Eminem committed to be on it. Dre's giving up tracks, and it's going to be ridiculous. And
what about some Bay Cats?
Hey, you know, I'm down with Lynch Hung. I work with him. I just got finished working with E40 on his new album. I play the game. There's a song in it where he raps to the game. I come in, hello, I'm the game. And he's talking to the game, and I play the game. I am the game. So I work with E40 and, you know, Spice One, and of course Short and me are alumni from California. So, you know, that can all happen. I don't have an area in the country where I don't have a friend that raps. You know? So the SMG is the newest thing I'm working with.
Sex, Money, and Guns.
Yeah, Mobb Deep, Capone and Noriega, all committed to be down on this project. So I'm trying to put something in somebody's head. I'm listening to the rock stuff. I love Jigga. I'm listening to it. So just want to put out a new, big, major group. And those of y'all that ain't heard Smooth the Hustler since Broken Language, don't sleep, because Smooth is nasty. So you got the hustler, the player, and the gambler. And we gonna lay some stuff for you.
And any other series other than Law and Order?
Nah, just I'm supposed to be doing a movie, directing a movie for Wesley Snipes called Common Sense, which is a short film. And you know, I got people running their mouths talking about they want me in their flick. They talking this and talking that, you know. But right now I've been out gigging with Kool Keith, doing Analog Brothers shows, and just having fun, man. Just doing it like pimps do, you know, man. You know how players live, thankful and appreciative, man. I run over here. I'm doing a lecture next week in Denver. Now I'm out here tonight, right now. What are we doing? The
turntable, DMC
turntable. I'm hosting that. I ain't no DJ. I'm hosting that. You know, love. And then you may come over and see me host Versace's new fall collection or something. And then I'm going to be over here at some pimp players ball down in New Orleans. Then back up here, you know, play a little ball at the Ruckers. And I'm just doing it, man. Doing it, man.
Doing it all. And the key to it is being able to visualize what you want to do.
And have fun, man. Let me tell you, you guys mess with Chuck D. Chuck told me, man, you know, he said, Ice, if you ain't having fun, don't do it. Life is short. You done struggled long enough. So now just do the stuff you enjoy. And that's what I'm trying to do. It ain't all about making enough money. As long as I know what I need to keep my bubble going, if I can get that, then I'm just going to kick back and have some fun, man. And I ain't letting people stress me out. People come to me every day. Yo, we got to get this. I'm like, look, dog, you got to get that. My bills is paid. So I'm going to the arcade today and play. You don't stress me out, man. Go on, man. Handle your problems, man.
That is Ice-T. Want to thank you. And before we bounce, can you give us a drop? Hard Knock Radio.
Yeah. What's up? Pimps up. This is Ice-T, baby. You're listening to the one and only Hard Knock Radio, man. It gets no realer than this, or more gully than this, till you're sitting in the holding tank, baby. You know, this is Ice. You heard about it. This ain't the video. It's real. I mean, when you burnt out, what did the car do? Did it slide across? You know, I want to know. Oh, we got stopped by customs. Well, what did they do? Did they rip the seats open? Yeah. What did they use? A box cutter or a knife? No, a screwdriver. Okay. And then in my records, so what I do is I told people I've always written what I call faction. It's factual occurrences put into fictional scenarios. So they feel real, but they may not have happened in that chronological order. But they happen to somebody. I don't create stuff. It happened to somebody, and I know for a fact it did, and that's what makes them hit so real.
Now, your ability to do that, does that require you to be a writer?
No, it requires you just to be able to see the whole picture ahead of you. It requires you to be able to see it in your head. It's like directing a movie. When you walk in to do a movie and the actors are standing around, in your head, you actually see the scene. It hasn't been done yet on film, but you know what happens.
Right.
So like when we act sometimes, when we finish, the director said, that's how it happened.
And here on the West Coast, but one of the things that always stood out was your descriptiveness. I mean, the ability to take people and paint a picture where it's vivid to this day. I mean, the classic 6 in the morning and all that. People still remember, know all that stuff. The rhyme, your album, OG, that was classic, especially with songs like The Tower and all that, where it's just so descriptive. Yeah. Where did you get that ability just to come up with that?
I've always been a storyteller, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like Slick Rick did an album called The Art of Storytelling, and, you know, a lot of people have said, Ice, you know, you might be one of the best that ever did it as far as telling stories, you know. I know that the key to telling stories is details, you know. It's the smallest things. It's the little things that make you snap that person right into that picture and the place. And a lot of the stories I rap about, I've lived, or if you tell me a story, I'm a good listener. And if you're telling me a story, I'm going to go into your story. While you're telling me the story, I'm going to say, and what happened right then? Was it raining? Was the streets wet?
How much of that is attributed to your ability to come off the street hustling?
I mean, do you see? I don't know. I think the best part of my hustle was always my communication ability. You know what I'm saying? I never really been much of a fighter. You know what I'm saying? I always thought that the smartest fight was the one you could walk away from, the one you could convince somebody that they didn't want to engage in, whether I was just backing out of it saying, hey, man, y'all the toughest cats, and stepping away from them and then getting them later, or the one where I was able to convince somebody that maybe I'm not the cat you want to mess with and just put that pressure on a cat. But, you know, people ask me where I learned how to act. I said in front of the judge, you know what I'm saying? You know, you better have your acting skills down there, man. But it's all communications. Hip-hop to me was always the best rappers were the ones that could get a point across on the mic, not just make you dance, but could deliver some type of information that you would feel.
Right. Well, you know, going back to that, getting the point across, one of the things, like if we just talk about Ice-T as a rapper, and not just, you know, some fly-by-night rapper, but somebody who is a pioneer. Yo, right now, we are hanging out with a guy, I call him the multi-platinum triple-dipple threat, talking about the one and only Ice-T. And the reason why I got to say that, I mean, you got it locked down on the TV tip, the movie tip. rock and roll side, the hip hop side, and you're still a street hustler. I mean, how do you manage to keep it all together? One and only Ice-T.
What's up, baby? What's happening, D? Man, you know, just trying to enjoy life, man. Just trying to enjoy life. I think everybody wants to do everything, really. I think people on television would love to make records. People to make records would love to be in movies. I think people tend to front and act like they don't want to do it if they think they can't do it, you know. Like
Right.
the cat that thinks he never can have a Benz will be like, I don't want no Benz, man, you know. But like Jay-Z said, y'all dying to floss, you know, stop lying. So I'm just been fortunate the opportunities came up and I just put my all in everything.
Well, let me ask you this. You know, on a serious tip, your ability to transcend in all these fields, writing, I mean, acting, being a musician, movie star and all that.
Already happened in his head. One time I was dealing with a graffiti artist and I said, how do you do those whole burners on the train? How do you know how to keep everything in you know, correct so they align up right? Because you start at one end of the train, mine would get crunched. He said, because I see the whole picture.
Okay.
I see the whole thing. Although you don't see it, I can step back from this train and look at it, and I see every color and every shade ahead of time. And with these stories, I really see this stuff happening.
But, you know, let me ask you that whole ability to complete the picture. And it's funny because I talked with author Omar Tyree, and he was talking about the importance of people being able to complete an entire picture. He said a lot of people ain't able to complete their thoughts. Do you see that as being problematic with us as just black folks not being able to see that complete picture, and as a result, we often shortchange ourselves? And is that the difference between somebody like you being able to be successful in all these endeavors and somebody else who says, yeah, I'm going to do it, but they never get to that point?
I think somebody said before, anything that can be visualized can be achieved, and you first